Jasmine Crockett's got another hot take. No blacks and whites on a wedding cake. The Democrats' new chosen one, Jasmine Crockett, is in the news again for an old clip where she attacked Florida Rep. Byron Donalds for marrying a white woman. Roll it, Bertha.
The fact that you sitting around talking about life was better under Jim Crow, is this because you don't understand history? Or literally it's because you married a white woman and so you think that...
Picture this. A sitting congresswoman implying that a black politician is whitewashing just because he married a white woman. That's what happened when rising Democratic voice Jasmine Crockett caught backlash over comments about Florida Representative Byron Donald. She even hinted that his take on race and history was off purely due to his marriage.
They cursed, now they thirst for blood. Jasmine Crockett is upping her temper tantrums, now saying the only way Democrats can win elections is by throwing hands.
I think you punch. I think you're okay with you okay with punching. It's Ted Cruz. This dude has to be knocked over the head, hard, right? There is no niceties in him.
Everything escalated when a clip of her outburst went viral online. The lights of late-night commentary studios flicked on. Across national television, Jasmine's face filled the screen. She looked more focused on tossing bold opinions into the spotlight than on defending her community or fighting for real change. Even that wild display wasn't the biggest shock. What made it worse was how she stuck to her position through this strange, intense stretch.
Really, it's because you married a white woman and so you think that whitewashed you.
That's not very woke, is it? Of course, Crockett isn't the only Democrat who's opposed to interracial marriage. So, Dana, Governor Hot Wheels, she claims that it had nothing to do with the fact that he actually moves by wheels in a wheelchair, and he's good looking.
Chaos broke loose. No apologies and no way to rewind. Once it hit the internet, the conversation couldn't be contained. Memes, debates, and brutal takedowns spread like wildfire. People weren't just upset, they were confused. How did a congresswoman go from defending civil rights to treating an interracial marriage like betrayal? Before we continue, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us grow and share more compelling stories. Now, back to it. This wasn't a one-off incident. Greg Gutfeld was ready to ignite one of the most heated political debates in years, kicking off a bigger spectacle that would play out live on TV.
Obamas, when they go low, we go high. Crockett went as low as humanly possible by mocking Governor Greg Abbott for being paralyzed.
We in these hot Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a...
Jasmine Crockett was back in the spotlight, but this time it wasn't just a viral clip stirring things up. Greg Gutfeld was waiting on live television armed with sharp quips, sarcasm, and edgy humor. There was no room for subtlety. Crockett stepped into the TV spotlight like she was auditioning for a sketch on Saturday Night Live. Gutfeld didn't hold back. From the moment she opened her mouth, he locked on like a heat-seeking missile. There was no playful teasing or polite disagreement. Her talking points were shredded like tissue paper. Every dramatic line and every over-the-top moment was twisted and flipped into comedic gold.
I don't know about you, but I want to see way more of Jasmine Crockett. I want to see her everywhere. I think she is the perfect face of the modern Democrat Party. What say you?
I do think that there are a lot of Democrats that really like Jasmine Crockett. But let's be very clear here, and let's acknowledge that the name calling is on both sides of the aisle. Everybody does it. It gins up the base. I mean, I think we can go through Donald Trump's greatest hits of name calling, and we can go blow for blow. And I think
find one about a guy in a wheelchair. Jasmine Crockett's got another hot take. No blacks and whites on a wedding.
It wasn't just jokes. Crockett bounced between the star of her own unintentional sitcom one moment and a serious lawmaker the next. Under the political veneer, Greg exposed the drama, the smug smiles, the tantrums, the slow, exaggerated pauses. Jasmine looked like she was performing instead of answering questions. Minute by minute, Greg tore down her arguments, turning each clip into viral ammo. This wasn't a debate. It was a spectacle. Viewers weren't only laughing at the punchlines, they were stunned by how fast he picked her apart. It felt like a disastrous open mic night, and every time she tried to regain control, things only unraveled more.
Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now.
Whoa.
And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot ass mess, honey. So,
Now she claims that she wasn't talking about Abbott's wheelchair at all. Yet she's mentioned Abbott's wheels before. In 2022, she posted Beto's rolling around the state. Where's Abbott rolling to? And according to the Washington Free Beacon, Crockett also liked several Facebook comments referring to Abbott as Hot Wheels.
While Gutfeld stayed calm and collected, Crockett kept spiraling, producing noise and losing any sense of a clear point. The jaw dropper came during her outburst. She threw herself into it and abandoned any script. Her anger was unmistakable, more than irritation. It was full-blown rage. She started shouting about violence and even hinted that Democrats might need to use it to win elections. Yes, she really said that. She even floated the idea that physical altercations could settle political disputes, live on air. When Ted Cruz came up, she didn't hesitate. He needs to be knocked over the head hard. There was no metaphor there. She sounded serious. People were asking if this was a street fighter on TikTok or a sitting member of Congress. The entire set froze. She spoke with the energy of a locker room pep talk, not a policy discussion. Her words were chaotic and lacked tact or self-control. By then, Gutfeld didn't even need to tell a joke. Crockett's performance was writing itself. Her fury mixed with the chaos she unleashed turned what should have been a serious debate into pure frenzy.
They are so lost, and they just have no idea how to come back. They're cursing, they're fighting, they're burning. They're lost. I said it months ago. The party is over. They've got to come up with something new. And this woman chasing a guy that's New York City. That's a subway.
They were lost and off course. Chaos ruled. Foul language flew as tempers flared. Months earlier, I had predicted this moment. Celebrations fade and people scramble for something new. Enter Jasmine Crockett, riding a New York City subway of spectacle instead of policy. It became obvious that this wasn't about ideas. It was about drama, virality, and attention. She didn't show up to debate. She showed up to perform. Masks off. She entered swinging, prioritizing theatrics over clarity. Greg saw through it instantly. Rather than fire off a few jokes, he dissected her like a technician fixing a broken machine, calmly showing how nothing added up. Greg amplified precision while Crockett amplified volume. Her statements felt like expired leftovers destined for the trash. He joked that her style was C-SPAN cabaret and TikTok improv. She wasn't arguing. She was performing. Every gesture and exaggerated pose looked more like reality TV than Congress the internet noticed. Is Congress a talent show now? Substance vanished as glitter replaced facts. Crockett wanted exposure. Who trends first? Who goes viral? Then came the clips that confirmed the absurdity. She mocked Texas Governor Greg Abbott's wheelchair and even called him Governor Hot Wheels, leaving viewers unsure whether to laugh or gasp. She doubled down online, brushed off criticism, and flaunted posts mocking his mobility. Greg didn't have to embellish anything. The footage spoke for itself. Crockett played the victim while showing clear disrespect. It wasn't satire. It was cruelty disguised as sarcasm. And she grinned through it. For a politician known for branding chaos, this was a new low. Her real talent was turning policy hearings into improv sessions. Infrastructure, border security, taxes, nothing mattered. 1 minute she lectured about oppression. The next, she snapped her fingers like a spoken word poet. Greg aired clip after clip of her treating hearings like open auditions. Each podium became a stage. Each discussion became jazz hands and chaos. Watching her felt more like TMZ than C-SPAN history itself seemed to cringe. Crockett wasn't there to inform or advocate. She was there to go viral. Every platform became a stage, and every stage fell flat. Greg leaned back and let the absurdity speak. She projected authority, yet every appearance looked like a late-night comedy skit. One moment she slammed the table for justice. The next, she delivered a monologue like a motivational coach arguing with her mirror. She didn't need a congressional office. She needed a stage and fog machines. The room's polite applause only added to the surreal atmosphere. Greg called it a trance. A room full of people afraid to admit that nothing she said made sense. She didn't argue. She performed. Every gasp and pose was theater. Greg pointed out what had become obvious. This wasn't politics anymore. Crockett was the star of a cabaret disguised as Congress. He wasn't roasting. He was diagnosing. Her brand was loud, stylish chaos, marketing disguised as advocacy. Just enough spectacle to trend, and just enough vagueness to dodge responsibility. Greg compared debating her to playing chess with a pigeon. She squawks, knocks over every piece and struts like a winner. She wasn't there to clarify, she was there to cosplay. Each hearing was a costume change, each camera a mirror. Broadband, potholes and historical monuments became props for identity politics and personal drama. Her analogies didn't need context, they needed a translator. Greg shook his head. She needs staff with GPS. With a microphone, a congressional seat, and applause, she had all the tools to mesmerize and mislead. The breaking point came when she declared, "America needs immigrants because ain't none of you trying to go inform right now." Greg froze the screen. Did she really mean foreigners should take jobs because Americans were too lazy? Yes. The mask dropped. This wasn't advocacy. It was arrogant spectacle, and the audience cheered. Self-assurance became her weapon. Loud, wrong, and confident replaced knowledge. Crockett ran the whole show. Stage crew, pyro, headliner, and backup dancer all in one. In one press conference, she mislabeled agencies, butchered policy, and even accused the Constitution of deception. Greg paused after each gaffe, amazed. This wasn't a few slips. It was a demolition derby of words, bumper cars without brakes, phrases colliding into confusion. Yet she pushed forward convinced she was speaking truth to power. Greg laughed not because it was funny, but because it was too absurd to be fiction. Instead of solving problems, she put them on a stage, changed their costumes, and turned press briefings into Broadway meltdowns. If you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to like and subscribe, and share your thoughts below. See you in the next one.